you know when you finally have become successful at something? It's a really good question to ask because, quite frankly, success is actually measured differently for everybody, isn't it?
Agent Power Huddle is a daily jumpstart, giving you all the tools you need to create an amazing real estate career. Led by top experts in the field, you'll learn how to sell more houses in less time while creating the life you want. Welcome to the Agent Power Huddle.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Mindset Monday. I'm Susan Johnson and Associates, and I'm happy to be here with all of you for Mindset Monday, launching our week with high energy and inspiration. I've got a really great topic today. Hopefully you're going to absolutely love it. It's called the 8 points and for your blueprint for success. And I'm going to jump right in because we get 30 minutes on this call, and I like to make sure we just can get everything we can out of it. So happy to have you here. I know we've got a few more people still logging on. Remember, you could listen back on podcast or go to YouTube channel and see these recorded videos. I listen to them all the time. So I encourage you to do the same. There's lots of great topics we cover Monday through Friday on Agent Power Huddle from 8 to 8:30 Pacific Standard Time. So we're going to jump into the 8-point blueprint for success. So I want you to think about this one question. What is success? So how do you know when you finally have become successful at something? It's a really good question to ask because, quite frankly, success is actually measured differently for everybody, isn't it? So think about a couple different things. Is it really a destination you're trying to get to? Is it the amount of money you've got in a bank account? Is it just the feeling of accomplishment when you've reached a goal? What does success really mean to you? Or I'm going to pose this question. Could it be that success is actually the journey? It's the journey of self-discovery that's going to lead you into a life and a place of fulfillment and happiness in your life. Would you think that that's a good definition of success when you're doing everything that's giving you a full and abundant life? So there's many people that have, huge bank accounts, but they're not happy and they're not, that wouldn't really be a successful thing. Or somebody who's closing hundreds of deals per year in real estate. I know most of us on these calls are in real estate, and yet their home life balance is off or something like that. Is that really success? So I like to dive into this 8-point because I really feel it's very powerful. You've probably heard of some of these things before, but when I come into an Agent Power Huddle, I like to dig deep and I like to share some stories. I want you to think about your own life and some of the stories and things that you've gone through, because I really feel that these kind of stories will anchor these principles and these points to use in our life every day. Make sense? So what really leads to success? After, going to hundreds of mastermind groups, reading the books I read, I do my morning routine every day. I've been studying this for years, and I got to tell you, there are these 8 points, and success leaves clues. Would you agree with that? Success leaves clues. If you really look at some of the continual fabric of what people do on a day-to-day basis, or if you sat down with somebody, and asked them a lot of questions about their life, and if there's somebody you want to emulate, or, a business that you've got that you've seen that you're like, I really want to have that kind of a business. What is it about that person, what they're doing? And you may find it's not always the same doing of the same things. So stay with me on this. I'm fighting a little bit of a cold, so if I sound a little funny, that would be why. But stay with me on this because your success is really a personal journey. You simply need to start by looking within yourself and really get to know yourself. What is going to, what is it that you really want? What are you really going after? And then you've got to actually apply these 8 points. And here they are. I'm going to lay them out for you. Point number 1 is passion. Bottom line is you've got to be driven by a passion. You have to really think about what juices you to get up in the morning, what juices you to grow your business and stay consistent with the activities you need to do to continue to grow your business. We're in the beginning of 2024. We've got a blank slate for all of us to start this year out to drive it forward. And what is it for you that's going to juice you to continue that growth journey? What is it? This is a very, very powerful question, folks, because I would teach this to my children all the time. When you do what you love, the money will follow. Have you heard that before? Give me a little thumbs up or something, because that is really truth. There's a lot of truth behind that. When you're doing something you love, the money's going to follow. There's people that I've actually met with and I've consulted with agents, and they're like, well, I'm not going to be afraid to say that I am motivated by money. Okay, that's fine to say that. And there's nothing wrong with saying you're motivated, but we all want to make money to fund our lives, for our families, to leave a legacy. Okay, that's okay to say that. And yet there's got to be something a little bit deeper that's going to help you persevere through the tough times, right? It's going to be a little bit more than money. So let's go deeper here. All right, your passion. You've got to love what you do. We're lucky. If you really love real estate, you'll have fun with it. You will have fun with it. And I want you to understand, I'm not sure how long you've all been in the business, but I've been in it for quite some time, a couple decades here. And I'll tell you that there's a lot of different ways to be successful in real estate. So, for example, and I don't want to go too long on this story, but I'm going to give you a quick, brief story. For example, I built my business, goodness, over 20 some odd years ago in farming, geographic farming. It's just, I got very consistent in it. My business grew very fast. Within a matter of a couple of years, it grew really, really strong. And I loved it. I was having a lot of fun. And it was fantastic. Okay. Then, after several years, I got into leadership and I started running brokerages and that kind of thing. And I wasn't doing really production for about 7 years. I was really leading brokerages, leading teams, that kind of stuff. And when I decided to make that shift to go back into production again. Okay. Stay with me. Back into production. The world had changed a bit. Does that happen to any of you? The world had changed a bit. Think about it. Instead of the normal, regular geographic farming, it was all about the internet lead generation. I rolled out of bed and as a new agent and into my tennis shoes and out into my farm areas from day one. I was going after listings. That's how I was trained as an agent. Go for the listings immediately. I don't know why agents think in their head they have to start as a buyer's agent. They don't. Learn and master your skill. We're going to get into that. But my point being in this is, so I spent a lot of time learning the internet lead generation platforms. And, we've been very successful at them. I'm not going to say that, but it wasn't really my joy. All of a sudden, I'm chasing all these buyer leads. And it really wasn't, I mean, I like working with buyers, but it wasn't my joy. I wasn't really loving what I was doing every day. Does that make sense? So you can be successful in real estate in many different areas. Think about what you're doing right now, and you've got a whole 2024 ahead of you. And what is your passion that's going to drive you to be juiced about getting up every day and getting back out there? I've shifted my entire business plan for 2024. We're going right back after all those listings. And by the way, I encourage all of you to do the same. Okay. So anyway, and what is it? January 8th. We've got already closed a couple deals here and had 3 listing appointments between Friday and Saturday. That's not to try to impress you. It's just saying, this is just, once you get that focus and that mindset of this is where I'm going now, 2024, I'm going back to what I love, back to what I enjoy. It's starting to come through. Things are coming in. Okay. All right. So Ben Franklin once said something. He said, most people give up dreams. They give up their dreams at age 25. Isn't that sad? They give up their dreams at age 25. And you know what? If you talk to a lot of people like I do, you're going to find that there's a lot of truth in this. They give up their dreams because they go get a job. They go get a job because of the obligation and their peer pressure, and they fall into a routine, right? They fall into this routine. And then they fall into a life of mediocrity. And he then went on and said they die at 25, but they don't get buried until they're 75. Okay, so that's a sad thought, isn't it? Think about all the people you might know that are working a job every day that are really not fulfilled and happy, and they're always complaining about what they're doing, but they're not taking any action and make any changes to do something different. Why? Because they're stuck. Now they've got their rent payment or their house payment or their bills or their, and they're stuck in this track. I want to encourage you to really think about that passion. When I get onto an agent Power Huddle, I have 30 minutes and I really try to, I hope I can jump through this screen at you and bring you some of the things I know you've heard before, but I really want to, impress upon you to self-discover what makes you happy. Because I did that internet lead thing, and I still do. We've got internet leads coming in, of course, But that is not my main focus right now. My main focus took me back to my joy. And I've got all my farm areas selected. We're doing a whole different campaigns on them now, digital marketing, videos, the whole bit. It took me turning 60 this year, it took me to change that mindset at my age to learn and do some new things. So hopefully that's encouraging to you. So in any case, nobody said it's going to be easy. All right. Following your passion is step and point number one. Point number two is work. You've got to work at it. I'm all about mindset and abundance and, the law of attraction. I love all that stuff. I consistently, use that in my life, in my business and that kind of thing. That being said, it doesn't take away the fact that you've got to get to work. You've got to get to taking action, right? And, passion's the beginning. Passion's going to ignite it. It's just like, it's igniting that flame, if you will, right there. I have my candles all over every day, but like igniting that visual aid that I didn't even realize I had right next to me. Anyway, ignite passion, that flame. It's going to ignite that flame. But it's the work that you put behind it to strengthen your mindset and your skill set. Follow a schedule. Be accountable. All right. No one said it's going to be easy, but you've got to follow that passion and have a great work ethic. And then you're laying that foundation for your successful 2024 and beyond. Point number three is be great at what you do. Be great at what you do. All right. So why am I saying that? Well, some people just kind of, they're okay with just learning the basics. Okay. They're okay with just, hey, I had a pretty successful year last year. I'm just going to duplicate that. But here's the thing. I got to tell you, real estate has changed dramatically from the year 2000 to 2023. Would you agree with that? A lot. All right. So if I was still doing things the way I was back in 2000, the year 2000, and today, I'm not too sure I'd be going where I'm going. But I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be going where I'm going in this business. And I have a story I'm going to share with you in a moment about that. But point number three is be great at what you do. To be successful, put your nose to the down and get damn good at anything you're challenging and you're studying and you're learning for that growth. Be exceptional at it. Be the best. Be the best of the best. When you learn your contracts, know them inside out and backwards. Because I will tell you, we're in Southern California. I'm not sure where all of you are from, but I and many others believe that given another couple of months, our inventory has been so low that more listings are coming on the market, but the buyers are going to be starting to come out, and we can very well see that multiple offer, those multiple offers coming back again. I believe that's probably going to happen by spring. With the interest rates coming down, with the buy downs that are going, with all that kind of thing. In any case, be damn good at what you do. Contracts are critical. I teach contracts for our board of realtors. I train them all the time. And I can't tell you how many times, when an offer comes in on a property, that contract and how it's written can win a deal. It really, really can. So be great at what you do. Practice. Digital marketing, whatever you're into, whatever is juicing you, be fabulous at it. Okay. It's just like an Olympic athlete, when they spend hours practicing their craft, they spend hours, people not watching them, right? That's what you have to do in real estate. You've got to continue to practice because, when no one's watching, your nose is to the grindstone and you're getting better and better and better. And guess what? When you have that opportunity, that's when you're going to earn the gold medal. That's when, your preparation, see my hand right here, those of you who are on the call, preparation meets opportunity. See how they align? Preparation meets opportunity. There's nothing worse than having opportunity, but you're not prepared. Or being prepared and never casting a net and never taking risks to get out there to get opportunity to align them. So be great at what you do. Here's my quick story. Once again, this is not about me. This is about, it is about me because it happened to me this weekend. But I'm going to share with you a mindset because this is Mindset Monday. I'm going to share with you what the difference was. I went on a listing appointment on Saturday morning. I was told they're interviewing multiple agents. In fact, one of them is an agent they've used for 25 to 30 years. 25 to 30 years. They've had a bunch of investment properties. They've used this agent out for years, but now they're selling their primary residence, close to $1 million residence, gorgeous 5-acre property, on and on. Anyway, and they asked to interview me. It was his nephew. I sold his nephew's house. Okay. And the nephew called me and he goes, I was really surprised. He's used this agent for a year, but he has actually asked to interview you. Okay, well, that's great. Go on the interview. And number one, I showed passion because I just have it and I loved their home. Loved it. Beautiful. Okay. Number two, I showed them what I do now in digital marketing, in casting a large net and showcasing their home because I become great at my marketing. I've invested in myself and I joined Krista, but it's not a plug for Krista Mayshore, but she's phenomenal. And I invested in myself and got into her program because I knew at turning 60 years old, I've got to be different. I've got to stay and shift with the times. Get where I'm going with this? I had to get myself into 2024 now, with the video, with the digital marketing, with everything. And at the end of the day, at the end of the conversation, by the way, I did win the listing. At the end of the listing, he said to you, he goes, I asked to meet with you because you're different. Because you're different. I did talk to, I goes, I'm a very loyal person. He goes, I very, very, very badly. Now, when I saw what you did for my nephew's home, when you sold it, and I went to my current agent and I asked them, can you do these things? They were deer in headlights. Deer in headlights. They didn't know how to do any of it. So that was a big aha moment for me. I actually messaged my coach. I'm like, oh my goodness. I knew I believed it and I knew I needed to learn these things. But if that is not proof right there that you've got to be great at what you do and you have to consistently change with the times. And by the way, if any of you are older like myself, I will tell you that in my own head, I had a lot of limiting beliefs as, oh God, I can't do that. That's just too much for me. I'm not going to be able to keep up with this. And I had to really bust through that. So I'm going to encourage you to find your passion, find something that you love to do, and learn what's going to take for 2024 for you to just soar. All right. And practice, be great at what you do. Point number 4 is focus. Point number 4 is focus. Now, focus on one thing. Again, I always use myself as an example. I'm very transparent with my teachings, with my agent power huddles, and I'll share my wins and I'll share my losses just as fast because that's just who I am. And when I say focus, here's what happens. If you know behavioral styles, hopefully you do. If not, you need to get your behavioral style done. So my behavioral style is a 99D, 99I. What that means is, all right, so I see some smiles there. So I want results. I work for results. I want results yesterday, right? It's for me to sit down on the computer for hours and actually learn all this stuff is like, climbing a wall. I'd rather leverage it. I'd rather hire it out and have somebody else do it. Because my mind is always going for, other things. However, there are certain things that I learned, which is, especially in the world of digital marketing, is that I need to understand the process. If I'm going to market it, and eventually I will bring somebody in to do it, but I need to know how to hold them accountable. I need to understand it. I need to internalize it. So when I see that point number 4 is focus, here's the thing. I wanted those results yesterday. I have had to really work very hard at slowing myself down. How do you move a mountain? One scoop at a time. Okay. Learn this part, master it before I add that next point on. And it's been rough, but I'll tell you guys, hopefully I can encourage you with this. No matter what you're doing, becoming great at something means you need to master, it means you need to internalize it, not just go through the steps of doing it. You need to internalize it because when you get in front of a buyer or a seller, it's like your tool belt. All right. It's like your tool belt without even realizing once you internalize something, it's just going to come out because it's within you. All right. So focus on it and use what's called chunking if you have to, one scoop at a time, whatever it takes, bite-sized pieces, milestone after milestone. One of the coaches said to me, they're like, well, where do you want to be in 5 years? In 5 years, you're going to be, we're all going to be 5 years from now, 5 years from now. What are you going to do in that time? Okay, so if I have the excuse of I want it yesterday all the time and, I can't do it, No, I have to change that mindset into I am 100% capable of doing it. Got to block the time to do it, which I do in the mornings, one scoop at a time. Because guess what? In 1 month, look what I've done in the last month. In the next month, in the first quarter, what have I now accomplished? That makes sense? Focus one thing at a time to continue moving that business, moving your goals, climbing that ladder of success, however you define it, and in your journey. Okay? Point number 5 is push yourself. I have some great coaches. I've got some great mentors that I've aligned myself with purposefully. I'm encouraging you to do the same thing. Align yourself with people who are going to support the growth that you're going through. But the bottom line is nobody can want it more for you than you want it for yourself. I have mentored and coached a lot of agents myself over the years, and I'm open to sharing and giving and everything, but I can't do this with anybody. Want to now with anybody. I'll light a fire like on my little there and I'll, ignite them. But the bottom line at the end of the day, they've got to find that passion. They've got to take the action. They've got to put the work in. They've got to be great at what they're doing and internalize it. And you've got to push yourself is where I'm going with that. Another thing about pushing yourself, I'm not talking, physically and mentally. And you've got to trust yourself. That comes in with trusting. I'll tell you, when it came down to, I've got a lot better at them now, but it's, when I first started the videos and the digital world and all that kind of stuff, I'm like, I wasn't trusting myself because I haven't done enough. It was all new. To me, I'm taking risks. I'm like, gosh, I've done my business this other way for so long. How am I going to change all this now? I better change it now. And thank God, as of Saturday, it was proof that I'm in the right direction. You see? Take more risks. Trust yourself that you can do it and surround yourself with enough people and mentors that are going to say, you know what? If you're stuck somewhere, then you're going to go over here and you're going to seek the help you need to master that, to be better, to get better. Am I speaking to you now? Get comfortable with being uncomfortable a little bit, right? Push yourself through that self-doubt. I did another episode a couple weeks ago called I Feel Amazing. I'm not joking. I keep these little sticky notes right front and center to me. I'm 100% capable because these little creepy limiting beliefs will come in when I'm trying and taking new risks with something new. And I'm like, man, I don't know about this. That's not going to work. I can't get this. It's going to take me too much time. You know what? Time is the one thing that we are all equal playing field on, right? We all have the same 24 hours in a day. What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? Are you going to decide to just be a victim of it? Or are you going to take control and say, okay, I'm going to push myself. I'm going to learn something new. I'm going to take the action steps. I feel amazing. I had to say that this morning because I'm fighting this cold. I knew I was going to lead you guys to the age of Power Huddle. I feel amazing. Had to really come through me. And because you know what? That's what's going to take. It's going to take that internalization. Imagine what your life will look like if you had Bill Gates, for example. He's the co-founder, most of you know who he is, a developer of Microsoft, and he was your mentor to develop the best idea for your growth in your organization. What if he was your mentor on that? What if Robert Kiyosaki was going to be your mentor for your financial investments? What if he was your mentor? Okay. What if Mother Teresa was partnering with you to do a charity event? Okay. What if you went to the gym and your trainer showed up and it's Arnold Schwarzenegger? Why am I asking you these things? Because, imagine yourself being around the best of the best. And you know what, by the way, even though some of these people aren't even alive anymore, we have access to all of this via podcasts and books and video and all that kind of thing. Plus, we have people in this organization, in Agent Power Huddle, anywhere you look, if you really seek out the support you need of where you want to go, imagine if you had Krista Mayshore as your digital marketing coach. That's who I have now. I'm not trying to sell her. Maybe I shouldn't be saying that on Agent Power, but I tell you, when you have something that works, I'm all about sharing. It's a lot of work. It's a hard program. I'm not going to cut it, but I'm telling you, she's wonderful and it has really helped me shift my mindset from how I used to do business into 2024, where I need to have my business go. Okay. Now, who can you think of that, you can go to mentor or to mastermind with? And by the way, can you help? I teach a lot because I really believe that the instructor and the teacher learns the most. I mean, really. And it feels good to give back. And I'll tell you, it's, when whenever you learn something, you turn around and you teach, you give it back. It's the best feeling. And it's called having a servant's heart. And that's point number 6, is have a servant's heart. It's a privilege to serve other people. It really is. It's a privilege when I'm invited to go teach at our board of realtors or teach or lead agent Power Huddle, anything like this. I consider it a real privilege. There's a lot of people they can ask. They chose me, and I don't take that lightly. It's a privilege to serve others. And, what's unique about you and how do you serve others? I can say with absolute certainty that when you serve others, the universe will literally reward you beyond your wildest dreams. Point number 7, I know we're getting close to time here, is unlock your ideas and your creativity. So I'll go back to that Saturday morning appointment when I'm walking this beautiful property with him. And then there's a whole nother ADU on it that I didn't even know was there yet. But my mind was flowing. Now that I'm excited and pumped because I'm learning all these great new digital marketing techniques, as we're walking this property, my passion was showing. And he even said that. The owner said that. So you love what you do. Like, I do. That's a huge compliment. I do love what I do. And my ideas for how I was going to market this amazing property were just flowing. So unlock your ideas and creativity, because when you're following your passion, you love what you're doing, your creative juices will naturally start flowing, and you want to do better and you want to be better. So allow yourself to explore opportunities and new ideas, because, getting stuck, getting complacent is not a place to live in. Have I been there? Absolutely. We all have, I'm sure, at some point. And that's where I want to encourage you to seek out some ideas, seek out something new and different, take some new risks for yourself. Point number 8, and to wrap it up, is persistence. Look, results don't always happen overnight. It does take time, just like that's why they call it farming. If you're going to do farming, you have to nurture. It's quite frankly, it's farming also on those internet leads. You've got to nurture them. Very few times do we have an internet lead that comes in and we pick up the phone and they are ready, willing, able right now to buy. It's a nurture. It's a process. You've got to persevere. And here's the bottom line. I've worked with lots of agents on this. If you're not loving what you're doing and have these other 7 points in alignment, then perseverance is going to be really rough for you. You've got to persevere through it. And when you put those other things in alignment, it's much easier to do so. You put your why behind it. You're loving the activities you're doing now because you're doing something that you enjoy versus something you feel like you have to do. And I'm not forcing you into digital marketing because maybe that's not your thing. Maybe it's community events is your thing. Whatever it is, find your thing. That's my point. You must persevere through what I'm going to call the crap, right? The criticism. Yes, people will criticize you, and sometimes it's your own family because they see you doing things and they're like, "Are you sure? Are you sure that's going to work for you?" And it makes you create doubt. Rejection. We get a lot of no's in this business. Sometimes it's about rejection. And you got to push through that. And know that what, it's not going to be for everybody. Not everybody's ready yet. I hate to say this, but assholes. Sometimes people are mean. And you don't want to work with that. When I have somebody that I'm not real, it's just not aligning. Like, I don't want to work with mean people. It's okay. Let them go because that's not who I want to be with. That's not who I want to be around. Pressure. There's going to be pressure. Every time you learn something new, you're pushing yourself. It gets uncomfortable. And that's when you need to push yourself and persevere through all that. So ultimately, like I said, we're going to wrap up now. The measurement of success is going to mean something different for every one of us. And I'm very confident that with these 8 points, if you really dive into them and start aligning them with your own life, self-discover how these points will apply to you. And it's going to unlock your greatness and your potential. And I encourage you to do that. And I'll quickly recap. Your point number 1 is passion. Point number 2 is work. Point number 3, be great at what you do. Point number 4 is focus. Focus 1 milestone at a time. Point number 5, push yourself. Push yourself. No one can want it more from you than you want it for yourself. Number 6, have a servant's heart and give back. Number 7, unlock those ideas and the creativity. And number 8, persevere and have persistence on everything you're doing. That's your Agent Power Huddle. Launching your Monday, launching your week. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you for coming on. Keep coming on. We used to have lots and lots of people come on, but now that we're putting this on podcasts and YouTube, most of the time it's to listen back. So it's great to see your faces, your smiles. I appreciate you here. Have a fabulous week. Thanks for joining us today on the episode Agent Power Huddle. Bye, guys.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our EXP organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about EXP or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.